Thank you
Okay.
so much, Dr. Stephen. Your presentation was indeed a great one. I have about two major questions. So to an extent, I work in the public health space. I'm quite familiar with some of the softwares that are being used. I know that DHIS2 is one of the approved software that is used for data collection across states in the country. So, but getting to know about the R package and like the functions seem similar. Is there any difference between these two software, or how do these softwares seem to complement each other? Like so that, in the civil service and in the private sector, we don't have parallel structures. Like DHIS2 is being used. Also, we are bringing in R. Like so, or what is the advantage of the R package over the DHIS2? That's the first question. And then the second, I think from your presentation, you mentioned that data is being collected across facilities on HIV patients for this particular one we talked about. So are these data gotten from private facilities only, or public, or both sectors? I would just like to get clarifications about that. Thank you.
Okay, so if I can just respond to Marvelous' question, and then we'll come to Janelle, I think, and then we'll take Janelle's questions after that. So I'll start with your second question because I think it's relatively more straightforward. Facilities of public or both, I mean, public facilities, private facilities, or both. Okay, so I think the NDR reports data across almost all the facilities where HIV programming is taking place. So if you have a donor that is supporting a HIV program in that facility, data, patient level data are routinely collected, and then there is ongoing national effort to make this available as electronic medical records, whether private or public, and to have this reported on the online platform, which is the National Data Repository. This is not complete yet because the good news is that my slides has a whole lot of links to publicly available information out there that can clarify a whole lot of these things. So the NDR project started not too long ago. So it's not complete yet, but it's a work in progress. Most of the facilities, like I said, out of the about 1.3 million people estimated to be on treatment in the country, over 1 million of them are already being reported on that platform. So they come from both private and the public sector. Okay, all right. So now to DHIS2 and the NDR. Okay, so the NDR again is the National Data Repository, of course, created by the government, supported by the government. The DHIS2 is also supported by the government, okay? My own understanding is that DHIS2 came first. DHIS2 reports not only HIV program, but reports all surveillance programs across the country. So you have TB, you have malaria, you have so many other diseases that have been of epidemiologic significance that have been collected, that we have data being collected from in the country, reported on the DHIS2 platform. That's not really exactly the same thing as to what you have on the NDR. For now, I'm only aware that the NDR reports the HIV program alone. But maybe the biggest difference is that NDR specifically reports patient or has patient level line list. So it's like a repository of the information about all patients longitudinally collected. Unlike the DHIS2, where what you have are aggregate summaries, number of this from here, number of that from that. You can't get patient level information from DHIS2, okay? But you can do that from the NDR. So these are a few, and the other thing is that the DHIS2 is not reported as real time as the NDR, for example. DHIS2 is generally reported at the end of the month, where summary forms are used to collect data and the summaries are put there on the DHIS2 platform. Unlike the NDR, where what you do is you pull all the patient information from your electronic medical records and put them out there on the NDR. So I think these are some of the differences always having a data repository, I'll give it a thumbs up any day, anytime, as opposed to having a platform where you only have summary information. So how these two interfaces, I think it's left for the people in the positions of authority to be able to say that, but they seems to serve relatively different functions in the meantime. And let's not forget that the DHIS2 is more comprehensive, it's more holistic as it is right now than the NDR. All right. I hope I'm able to answer your questions.
Yes, you have. Thank you so much.